All right, we are live on YouTube, and tonight we're going to be discussing stop whining and complaining because there's a bright future ahead for everyone. So stick around and find out more. That's coming right from Northern California. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. And after you bang that bell, when that pop-up box pops up, make sure you select all notifications because that way you won't miss a single thing. You will not miss anything when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. That's right. You won't miss a single beat when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. Good evening, everyone. Good Monday evening to everyone. Before we get started here, let me pay special props to the sponsor of this channel, Mr. Troy Brewer, who is the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network for all of your product and service needs from the most trusted professionals in the industry. Please consider visiting www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. One more time, that's www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. You can also visit a subsidiary of the Discover Community Network called the DCN Internet Radio Network. And if you go to that website, you will find a bunch of amazing, wonderful internet radio stations. And more than likely, one is going to suit your genre needs, whether you're looking for music or you're looking for talk. There are a bunch of music stations where, like I said, one will more than likely suit your needs. There's a 70s station, an 80s station, 90s station, today's hits, and so much more. There's country. There's just so many great stations out there. There are also a bunch of talk stations. If you love talk radio like myself, I love talk radio. Basically, like I've said in the past, I'll say it again tonight. My show out here on YouTube is basically like a talk show, but with video, and I love talk. So if you love talk just like me and you want more talk, please consider visiting the DCN Internet Radio Network website at www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. That's www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. Both of those links are below in the description, about a third of the way down. And if you check out those sites, you'll also find out how you can reach out to Troy by email. If you decide to reach out to Troy and send him an email, please make sure that you make him aware that Coach Eli sent you with lots and lots of love. That's right, because we have lots of love and positivity to spew out here on the Grip on Life channel. So that's what we are all about. Lord Gaelic's in the house. Oh my God, the Dark Lord has arrived. I can't even get that right. The Dark Lord has arrived. Lord Gaelic. Lord Gaelic, man, it's a great pleasure to have you here. And if you haven't noticed Lord Gaelic, let me mention this right now. Before I mention what I was about to mention, let me make sure that the notification has gone out. Okay, the notification has gone out and the stream health is looking pretty good. So we're all set to go. So the Lord Gaelic, and Mutt, who already knows this, if you folks have not noticed that all of my live streams are still publicly available on YouTube, but my live stream chats are for members only. Now, if you are a moderator, you are exempt from that. You will always be free. So Lord Gaelic, you will always be free here because I still have lots of love for you, and I will always have lots of love for you. And Lord Gaelic, after what happened this weekend, I have a feeling the next 4 years of our lives are going to be more amazing. They're going to be more about unity, less hate. And I think you're with me on that one, brother. I mean, I'm not going to ask you who you voted for. That'd be rude of me. But I know you are an amazing guy that's all about diversity, and you love people for who they are, nothing beyond that. And that's what I've always loved. and appreciated about you. So, folks, if you are not a moderator here, there are only two ways you're going to be able to chat in my members-only chats. You can become a member of this channel for as little as $4.99 per month. Now, all my packages will get you the same thing. It's just up to you how much you want to sponsor this channel at a monthly level or on a monthly level. But for $4.99 per month, you will have unlimited chatting access to all of my live streams. And you will also get special members-only videos. And down the road, if I do some members-only live streams, you will have exclusive access to those as well. But if you do not want to purchase a membership, or you're not a moderator, the only other way you can chat is by going down below to the bottom of the chat where you see that $sign. You can hit the super chat, and for any amount of super chat you send, you'll be able to send one message per super chat. So that's the way to do it. All right. So let's see. Let's start the chat here real quick. I have a couple moderators here today. Mutt Nuts World. Hey, Eli and everyone. Hope everyone is good. I'm doing quite well, Mutt. I am excited after what happened this weekend, Mutt. I got to tell you, I'm sure you're excited as well. I am so excited. We'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, I'm doing quite well. Thank you so much for asking. Lord Gaelic says, how have you been, Eli? I've been doing all right, dude. You know, I've been recovering from this pinched nerve that I've had for a while. You know, I pinched a nerve, I'd say probably about 4 months ago, and it's been a slow recovery process. But about 3 weeks ago or so, I was starting to feel well enough to the point of where I've been able to get back out and do some hikes on the weekends with my activity partner. We actually went away this past weekend again, and we did 2 hikes. For a total of 11 miles. We did a pretty strenuous 3-mile hike on Saturday, and then yesterday, Sunday, before we headed back to the area where we live, we did an 8-mile hike. It wasn't as strenuous, but it was a long distance. So got some great exercise and getting back out there into the open, fresh air, and just man, living life the way it's meant to be lived, bro. Sometimes just getting away from it all, getting away from all this drama that we have in our world, whether it's on YouTube or off of YouTube, it just feels real good. And you know what, dude? The nice thing is this. Yes, we have our smartphones with us wherever we go, but when I go away on these trips, man, I kind of tune out the messages and stuff. Occasionally I'll check in case there's an emergency or something like that. But I've been doing well, dude. I've been doing quite well. And I'm hoping you're doing okay as well, bro. And my offer still stands, bro. If you ever want to talk, bro, friend to friend, I will always support you. I'll always help you out free of charge. You're an amazing guy, and it's a great pleasure to see you here. Now, again, you're not going to see a lot of people here in the chat. There are people watching, but they're not able to chat because I have converted my live stream chats to members only, because I want to eliminate all the trolls, and I only want people to come here and chat that truly value the message and want to get something out of this and want to get a better grip on their lives. Let's see. Nuts World says, hey, Lord Gaelic. Lord Gaelic says, been dealing with a lot. My mother passed away a few weeks ago. I'm so sorry to hear about that, Lord Gaelic. Oh, man. My condolences to you, brother, and your family and your friends. That's rough, bro. Every time I hear of someone's death, or someone's, a death in someone's family, that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place when I hear about death. I don't handle death very well. I don't think anyone really does. It reminds me of when my father passed away. It'll be 12 years this April. And, I feel for you, man. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. My father was my mentor. My father was the man that made me the man I am today. And I'm so grateful and thankful for the way that he raised me. Even though when I was younger, I used to always contest everything he would say. I was mean to my dad. I couldn't stand the fact that he was trying to discipline me. But when you get older, to the age of where I'm at, I'm 46 years old. I'll be 47 in December. You really appreciate that, bro. And a lot of people don't realize how much their family cares about them until they pass away. So I hope, bro, you were able to spend as much time with your mother as possible. I mean, my father passed away all of a sudden. We didn't know he was going to die. He died all of a sudden. But fortunately for me, I got my act together. I think I was, 34 when he passed away, around there, 34, almost 35. I got my act together to the point of where I apologized to my father and got everything off my chest 6 months before he passed away. And like I said, I didn't know he was going to pass away. But had I not done that, bro, I'll tell you, it would have eaten me alive, man. So I totally get what you're going through. Whatever you need from me, man, let me know behind the scenes. We're still connected on Google Hangouts, and I'd be happy to help you. Like I said, man, I will help you free of charge forever, bro. You're a good dude. You're a really good dude, man. So, again, sorry to hear about it. I'm sure Mutt will have some words to say as well. Lord Gaelic says, it's been hell, totally unexpected. Yeah, dude. You know, I can't say it's any easier when it's expected, but, especially when it's unexpected, especially if you have unfinished business, with someone as close to you as your mother or father. Man, I get that, dude. So my thoughts and prayers are extended out to you and your family. Again, whatever you need from myself or any part of the Coach Eli clan, we are here for you, man. We're totally here from you, or for you. I can't even talk, man. So, and in case you folks have not heard, I'm sure most of you heard yesterday, legendary Jeopardy host Alex Trebek passed away yesterday. I'm losing my verbiage because this really, really kind of gets to me, when people pass away. He died of, I believe it was pancreatic cancer. And about a year ago or so, I believe it was a year ago or so, he was given 6 months to live, and he recorded a video of his situation and lived a little bit longer than expected. But that was a sad thing as well. My thoughts and prayers go out to the Trebek family and to everyone that has grown up watching Jeopardy and learning a lot from Alex Trebek. What an amazing gentleman that we lost. And the thing about Alex Trebek, he was recording Jeopardy episodes, even up till 2 weeks before he passed away. I'm subscribed to a TV station in Southern California called KTLA Channel 5. And whenever I go down to LA to visit, I always watch KTLA 5. It's one of their best TV stations down there. Great news station as well. And I was watching them interview, I believe it was the executive producer of Jeopardy. And, he told us how great of a guy he was and how he would come on the set even up to those last few weeks before he passed away, where he wasn't feeling great the mornings of the tapings, but once the taping started, you would never be able to tell anything was wrong with him. And that to me is the definition of a strong man, a good man, a man that does not let anything stand in the way of creating greatness and continuing to move forward, with his purpose. If any man knew his purpose, Alex Trebek knew what his purpose was, and he lived an amazing life. Short-lived, in my opinion. His last one, yeah, that's what I heard as well, Mutt. On Christmas Day, 12/25/2020, the final episode of Jeopardy will air, and you bet your bottom dollar I will be watching. But again, yeah, such a sad loss as well. So folks, take care of yourselves, man. It just seems like people are dropping like flies, and it really just saddens me. So take care of yourselves, especially during this time of this pandemic that, our current presidency or our current administration, which will end at the end of this year, really hasn't taken it as seriously as they should be. But there are going to be changes to that. So stick around. I'll be talking about that here tonight. So now that we have the beginning of the show out of the way, let me let you folks know how this show is going to go tonight. It's probably going to be about an hour and a half to 2 hour show. The topic of tonight's stream is stop whining and complaining. There's a bright future ahead for everyone. One more time, stop whining and complaining. There's a bright future ahead for everyone. Now, how's the show going to go? The first part of the show, I'm going to be discussing a couple of videos that a few conservative YouTubers put out. These are channels that I actually watch quite often. I actually enjoy their content, even though I'm slightly left. People know, I'll say it again, I'm a little slightly more to the left than the right, but I love views from both sides, and I'm actually more down the middle. I care about what's best for the overall interest and aspects of everyone. But these are channels that, voted for Donald Trump and are slightly more to the right, or some could be more extreme right. And they were discussing, how they feel, President Trump not being in office is going to change the way, conservative, creators are dealt with, not only out here on YouTube, but throughout all of social media. And I'm going to be discussing why I feel they're incorrect and what they're not telling you or may not even want to tell you. I've been talking about this a lot in the past, but I'll clarify it once again tonight. Then I'll also discuss, again, because more has happened since, the last stream I did on, it was actually Saturday early morning at 12 midnight. There's a lot that's happened since that point. Obviously, the very next morning, I think it was roughly about 6 or 7 hours after I finished my stream, Joe Biden was projected to be the president of the U.S., not only by CNN, but by many other news authorities and the Associated Press as well. And many conservatives out there are still saying that America is being stolen. I want to talk a little bit more about that because I'm still just trying to figure out what do you folks mean by that? No disrespect. How is America being stolen? And are you saying that conservatives owned America and liberals were just here on temporary assignment? I mean, I don't understand what you folks mean by that because I'm an American too, right? So who was America stolen from? I don't understand that, We'll get more into that in just a little bit. And then the final part of the show, probably take a break somewhere after the first, two things I discuss, and then or first 2 or 3 things, and then I'm going to talk about how I feel Joe Biden is going to put an end to systemic racism, which is something that's been talked about a lot out here on YouTube and throughout social media and the mainstream media. Even, the CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, has discussed systemic racism over the past year within some videos. And I fully agree with how she feels about it. Obviously, Susan Wojcicki is a liberal like myself, but I don't think it has to do with the fact that her and I are liberals. It just has to do with the fact that systemic racism and racism in general, should not be, promoted by anyone, regardless of your political party preference or views, right? It just should be something that's not tolerated. Come on now. We're supposed to be better people than that, right? You know what I mean? And then the final thing I want to discuss is Biden's COVID-19 task force. Biden is putting together a COVID-19 task force to be ready to start off his presidency in early January to fight the most important thing that we have to deal with right now that was practically almost completely discredited by the Trump administration, especially, the current President Trump himself. And I have a wonderful article that was written today by, I believe it was by USA Today. Let me just double check here real quick. Yeah, a wonderful article by USA Today titled President-elect Biden unveils COVID-19 task force. It includes a Trump whistleblower. Oh, man. It's so funny how President Trump's own people have been turning against him. I mean, that speaks for itself, doesn't it? I mean, you tell me. You tell me. So that's what we have on the agenda here tonight. Let me check out the chat here real quick one more time, and then we're going to get to the first few things before I step away for a quick break. All right. No one can take his place. on the show. No, Alex Trebek. Alex Trebek is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, but I'm kind of in a I'm in a good mood, but not. I'm kind of in a weird mood as well too. Because while I'm happy at the same time, I'm really saddened by how some people have been behaving lately, and I just wish things could be different where we all get along. But you're right. No one will ever be able to take the place of Alex Trebek. I mean, that guy was a legend, and he will be remembered as one of the greatest Hollywood stars, in my opinion. I also believe, but didn't Alex Trebek also do the Colonial Penn commercials for a while, if I remember correctly? I think Alex Trebek did those as well. Just a very, very talented man with a great voice, great presence, very intelligent, very down to earth, just a good dude. Just, the type of dude that you could make the poster guy of America. If I can, teach these people, these guys across the country here in America that have been misbehaving, look at Alex Trebek. Kind of try to, model the type of man he is, and that might help you, become a better person. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that, Mutt. You're right. No one can take his place on the show. No worries, Mutt. Mutt, I'm not counting spelling and all that stuff. And Mutt says, yep. All right, so let's get right to it here. So, because of, and this is what I've just noticed, because of how some people are very spiteful and vindictive out here, and if you play even a few small clips from their videos under fair use, they'll file a copyright on you just because you have a difference of opinion. I'm not going to be showing the clips from these videos that these two conservative creators put out today. I took some notes. I'm just going to be sharing my thoughts. Muttnuts World says he had dual citizenship. He was both a U.S. resident and a resident of Canada. Yeah, I actually have Canadian citizenship too. My dad lived in Canada for a while, even though he was born in Greece. He had Canadian citizenship, and then when he came to the U.S. and he got Canadian citizenship, he also got Canadian citizenship for myself, my brother, and my mother. Kind of a long story, but yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. North America, right? Awesome. Okay, so the first creator I'm going to be talking about is Tim Poole. He runs a show called Timcast. He does live streams pretty much almost every day, if not every day, and he discusses political issues. And when you watch his streams, you can automatically tell that he's way more on the right than he's on the left. Okay? Now, for me, I'm slightly left. But even though I'm slightly more, left than right, like I always say, I'm more down the middle. I'm more about what makes sense for the best overall aspect of everyone, right? So when I look at a situation, I don't look at it, from a liberal standpoint or a conservative standpoint. I look at it from the standpoint of, does this make sense or not, right? But that's what this creator does. And the title of his video was CNN host issues warning to Trump supporters, defend Trump and you'll be blacklisted. Oh my God. One more time. CNN host issues warning to Trump supporters, defend Trump and you'll be blacklisted. Okay. Well, you're entitled to your opinion. Why would somebody blacklist you if you defend Trump? Now, if you're going to defend Trump according to his crazy allegations, it's my opinion to say that Trump's allegations regarding the election are crazy. Okay. It's up to me to state my opinion, but you know what? If you folks want to defend President Trump and what I feel are crazy allegations regarding the election, that's totally up to you. But who are you going to be blacklisted from? The liberals? Are you thinking that if you defend Trump, that if you talk about it, On YouTube, they're going to ban you, or Facebook, they're going to ban you. Okay? And then, furthermore, what Tim Poole said in that video, he said, think about what your future employer might think if you agree with the crazy theory about Trump not really losing the election. Think about what your future employer might think if you agree with the crazy theory about Trump not really losing the election. Bottom line is this: Trump lost the election fair and square. Many people have said today, I was watching CNN and reading some other articles regarding this, and many people are saying, even if Trump had some credibility, in the states that he was suing, you know what? It's not going to overcome the difference of votes, okay? Because he's so far ahead margin wise that whatever he'd be suing for, even if he won all his lawsuits, it still wouldn't be enough for him to reverse, Joe Biden winning the presidency or being projected the president, right? But here's the thing. You're all entitled to your opinion. If you want to support what I feel is a crazy, theory about Trump not really losing the election, if you want to support that, that's up to you. I don't think your workplace would fire you for that. I don't even think YouTube would remove you for that. But it depends on one thing. It depends on one thing, and I say this time and time and time again. It depends how you present your material. Look at me. I'm talking about all this, right? I'm talking about the same exact things that each and every one of you conservative creators out there are talking about. But I talk about it professionally, with grace. I'm honest. I'm ethical, right? I'm not stating anything, that's not true as a fact. And if I'm not sure about something, then I say it's my opinion, which I'm entitled to my opinion. Facts are facts and opinions are opinions. But again, I want to talk about this again. What I honestly feel is happening to these conservative channels and why they're being shut down for talking about the exact same things while I'm not getting shut down and fully monetized. It's because of the attacks that you add along with your message. It's about, using racial slurs and, using hateful language, discriminating, right? Because in my opinion, which it should be a fact, but in my opinion, someone's age, race, national origin, sexual orientation has nothing to do with their thought process. If someone has a thought that you disagree with, you can respectfully share your disagreement without attacking the color of their skin, without attacking the fact that they're male or female, without attacking the fact that they're gay or straight, right? Opinions are opinions. They're not based on anything besides the opinion coming from the person. And see, that's what's getting these conservative channels shut down. And that's, again, I've been saying this all along, that's what these conservative channels are upset about when they feel like America has been stolen from them. They feel America has been stolen from them because they're thinking that they're going to lose their ability to have freedom of speech. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. I haven't lost my ability regarding my freedom of speech, my First Amendment. Neither have you folks. But the thing with conservatives that I've always had a problem with, it's just my opinion, but I think it should be a fact, but it's my opinion, is that you folks seem to think that attacking people in hateful, derogatory, racist ways is covered by your freedom of speech, and platforms such as YouTube and Facebook, and Twitter, etc., should just acknowledge that as part of your freedom of speech. And that's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. But even if that was how it worked, even if that was allowed on these platforms, is that the kind of person you want to be? Do you want to be a hateful person that incites violence and racism? and other just, unnecessary derogatory things like that. Is that the kind of person that you want to be? Is that how you want to live your life? Because that's certainly not only how I was raised, but that's certainly not how I want to live my life. I love people in general, and I want to help everyone as best as possible. And if I have a disagreement with you, I will respectfully share my opinion. I'm not going to project my views onto you like a lot of these, conservatives do. It's not all conservatives, but a large majority of them. And you see them all now revolting out here on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, etc. They're all saying the same thing. America was stolen from us. As far as I know, America's still here, right? Man. All right, so that's what Tim Poole was talking about today. And Tim, look, you're a much bigger channel than me. You don't even know who I am. Who knows if you even hear about me talking about you? But in case you do, man, come on, dude, you're better than that, bro. You're a much smarter guy than that. And sometimes I wonder, Tim, if you put out your content in a way that that deliberately creates drama and stirs the pot up just to get more ratings, maybe that's part of your gig. Maybe that's part of the gig jig of the conservatives, because a lot of these conservatives love to stir up the drama pot, because what happens when you stir up the drama pot? People drop everything and tune into you over anything else. It's the truth. Drama sells. I personally can't stand drama, but I realize that drama sells. And maybe that's what they're concerned about. But if you're concerned about that, you can turn your channel around and run a more respectful channel out here on YouTube. Put out the same exact things on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter in more respectful ways. You can share the same exact opinion, but word it a little bit differently and leave a few hateful things attached to it that will still put out the same meaning and not get you removed. How come you guys can't do that? No, it's part of my freedom of speech. I can say whatever the hell I want, right? Well, in your own home, you can. In someone else's house, including social media, you got to follow the terms of service. But even then, forget about the terms of service. Don't you want to be a good person? Don't you want to be a good role model citizen? Or do you prefer to be a hateful, spiteful, and vindictive person? Come on. Come on now. All right, I'm going to talk about one more thing here, and then I'm going to take a quick break. So let's talk about another channel that I've mentioned out here before that I really love to watch. And I believe this guy, I wouldn't say he's a conservative extremist, but I think he's a little more slightly on the right than on the left. I mean, he's a pretty fair dude. His name is Jeremy, and he runs the Quartering channel. He's nearing 1 million subscribers. And I just think he's a really good dude. I like him, even though I believe he's slightly more on the right. Okay? And he did a video earlier today that was titled Joe Biden versus Gamergate. His policies for speech online may doom creators. One more time. Joe Biden versus Gamergate. His policies for speech online may doom creators. There's another conservative creator, at least like I said, I think Jeremy from the Quartering channel is just slightly right. I think Tim Poole is more far right, okay? Or a lot more right than just slight right, okay? But Jeremy from the Quartering channel is probably slight right. But he's feeling the same way as these radical conservatives are, that, with Trump not getting reelected and now Biden coming into office, that Biden's going to rewrite all these laws and hammer down hard on, freedom of speech on these online platforms, and it's going to doom creators. Okay. And like I put in my notes here, creators are worried about freedom of speech and being shut down due to new policies Joe Biden will put into place. I've been waiting for the day those new policies get put in place. You know why? Because it's going to stop, creators attacking other creators, which is what YouTube's been trying to stop for the longest time now. Last year, late in 2019, YouTube put out an update to their creator-on-creator harassment policy, and they said we're taking a stricter stance on creator-on-creator attacks, and they kind of did, and they kind of have been doing it, but I still think that YouTube can do a better job. YouTube and Google can do a better job. And what Jeremy from the Quartering channel is saying is that Joe Biden will change the policy to where it's going to force YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms to really lay down the hammer. And he's probably right. He's probably right. And I'm all for that. I'll tell you why I'm all for that. Because like I said, when I was talking about Tim Poole, Jeremy, that you can come out here and say whatever you want to say, but it's how you present it. Are you going to present your message properly and with grace, or are you going to, attack another creator based on the color of their skin, or the fact that they're female instead of male, or the fact that they're gay instead of straight? Why do we need to be that judgmental towards people? Why can't everyone just have a fair opportunity to, have a voice, right? It's a very hypocritical thing, in my opinion, for these conservative guys to come out here and say that Joe Biden is going to basically silence our freedom of speech. It's going to doom creators because now, gamers are not going to be able to no longer attack each other as part of their entertainment factor to gaining traction and making money, right? I tell you honestly, my opinion is this. Any creator on YouTube or any other platform that gains traction and makes money primarily by attacking other creators and kicking them down is a very insecure and terrible creator. I would not want to be the kind of creator that has been known for making money at the expense of kicking other people down. I want to make money and create my legend on contributing to the greatness of people and uplifting people. So this is what I don't understand about these channels. They're worried that because we have a liberal now and opposite Democrat, Joe Biden is going to doom freedom of speech for many creators. Well, here's the thing, Jeremy, with all due respect, because I really think you're a good guy and I like your channel. YouTube's been already shutting much of that down, whatever they can see, right? I've seen them shut, certain channels down or take down certain videos, and so have you, Jeremy. You talk about it in many of your videos. You put out 4 or 5 videos a day sometimes, and I watch all of them. I love your stuff. But why should any of that be allowed on the platform? Because even though YouTube does take some of it down, a lot of it slips through the cracks. So what if Joe Biden, put out some law, or some executive order and basically forced YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all these other companies to take an even more stricter stance and say none of this content is allowed out here. Let's remove all of it. I'd love to see it go. I'll tell you why. It completely affects my business. I want to run a positive business out here to really help people. But when I get all these people that feel they have the right to attack my channel and tell other people I'm a piece of crap and to, to incite such crazy hate, I can understand people sharing their opinions saying, hey, we don't like you. We don't think you're good, whatever, right? To a certain extent. But when they throw in things, I'll give you some examples. This is what they've called me. I have a shaved head. So a lot of these people call me a bald loser. Okay, that's great. So you think I'm a bald loser. Whoop-de-doo, right? A lot of these people attack me saying, oh, he always wears hats because he's ashamed of not having any hair. No, That's not it. I just love hats. I used to always wear hats even when I have hair. I just love hats. I enjoy hats. I like the look of hats. There are times where I will go to certain events where I'll show my bald head. I'm not ashamed of it. When I'm dating a woman and we're romantic, I don't go to bed in the bedroom with a hat on. Right? That's the kind of stuff that's unnecessary, right? And then also when people attack you because of your national origin, okay? Or, they call you other derogatory things, which I'm not going to mention here because I don't want to get this video removed or demonetized. But why can't people just constructively criticize you on what they don't like about your content? Why does it have to be about, something like a bald head? Now, I can understand, if somebody, was trying to run a professional YouTube channel and maybe they did a video with a ripped shirt, a dirty shirt, right? Or they weren't presentable. But if someone shows up presentable and is just speaking their mind, their thoughts, why can't you just criticize them on their thoughts and do it constructively? Hey, you know what? I disagree with you. I understand where you're coming from. I disagree with you, though. Here are my thoughts. What do you think about that? And then we can have a back and forth civil conversation and learn from each other and then find a solution, right? But no, instead of doing all that, all I hear from these conservative creators is the fact that they feel they're being silenced. They feel that now because Joe Biden is going to be in office, they're going to be completely silenced. They will no longer be allowed on the platform. Well, again, why don't you take the approach I take? I speak on the same exact things that you conservatives do, but I share my thoughts in more respectful ways. I still get my point across, and I still emphasize what needs to be emphasized, but I don't use any hate speech, vulgar language, racism, or anything like that. Why do you guys need to even take that level? If you folks are not going to use any racism, vulgar language, or inappropriate content, or attack someone, based on, like I said, their ethnicity, whether they're male or female, whether they're gay or straight, right? Unless you want the right to attack people in that way, then what are you worried about? That's what this all boils down to, because nobody's freedom of speech is being taken away. We are trying to get rid of all the hate. Hate is not good. So I have to ask you conservatives out there, are you upset because the what you felt you had the right to do while Trump was in office was hate? Are you unhappy that you're no longer going to be allowed to hate upon people to gain traction and make money? Is that what it is? You tell me. And if that's the case, what kind of a person are you in the first place, even if it was allowed and legal? You tell me. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's see. I'm going to talk about one more thing here real quick, then I'm going to step away for a break. I kind of mentioned this on my late night stream I did Friday night going into Sunday early morning at midnight. Many conservatives are still saying America is being stolen. I just cannot stop wondering why you folks think that. Again, I have to ask, why do you feel America is being stolen, and who is it being stolen from? Who is it being stolen from? Are you saying that liberals are not technically Americans? Because I have U.S. citizenship. I was born here. So does that mean while Trump was in office, I had no rights? Did the liberals just steal back America and steal back our rights that Donald Trump took away from us? Because I still always have my rights. I don't understand what you conservatives think or are thinking when you're saying that America was stolen. And how can you say America was stolen when, half the country voted for Biden and the other little less than half voted for Trump? Now, 75 million votes for Biden and 71 for Trump. I think that's what the number was the last time that I checked. They're still counting, votes in certain states. But 75 million people voted, over half people voted for Biden. And people from the previous election that voted for Trump changed their vote to Biden this time around. There's no other way Biden would have won. So how in the world can you guys and gals that are conservative out there, no disrespect, just asking, how can you say that America was stolen? And who stole America? Where did America go? It's still here. I'm still doing the exact same things I was always doing. Again, I think this leads to one thing. This leads to one freaking thing that the conservatives are upset about. And it's primarily the conservative middle-aged Caucasian men. This is what they're concerned about when they say freedom of speech. These people think that freedom of speech should include hate speech, vulgar language, should include racism, should include whatever they want to say, including derogatory things. And when Trump was in office, they felt that they were heading towards a path of where that would actually become a part of their freedom of speech. And a lot of them were able to get away with it for quite some time, even out here on YouTube. Folks, I got to tell you, my first 4 years of YouTube up to today as a real content creator, I saw so many creators use hate speech, vulgar language, use racism and all that, and very rarely get removed. There are still videos up to this day that completely violate the terms of service of YouTube. Why is that? Partially because, President Trump was in office. And he's okay with that. But if you get a president like Biden, it's going to fight against that. And then he goes to social media companies and says, look, we've got a serious problem here with systemic racism, with hate speech, with vulgar language. We've got people that are being so brutally attacked regarding these things on the platform. Some of them have committed suicide because of it. This needs to stop, YouTube. We got to do something about it right now. So what I need you to do, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, is create a specific department that handles this type of content 24/7. And anyone that flags content like this that clearly violates your guidelines, you remove it within 1 hour. And I'll tell you right now on YouTube, that's not happening. On YouTube, if you go to the desktop version of YouTube on your desktop or laptop, and you go log into your channel, and then you go to youtube.com/report history, it'll show you every single one of your videos you flagged and what you flagged it for. I've got tons of videos that have racism in it, that have hateful, inappropriate content, attacks against, gays and lesbians, right? I clearly flagged these with timestamps, and they are still live on the platform to this minute, when they clearly violate the guidelines. So what Joe Biden would do is come in and say that if any of these are flagged, they need to be removed within 1 hour, or we will not give you protection from Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. Something needs to be done about this. And Joe Biden is going to be the one that's going to do it. And that's what the conservatives don't like because they've been getting away with it for so long. But me, forget about the fact that I'm a liberal. As a human being, as an American, as a man, as just a regular man from anywhere, human being, I am just tired of all this hate. This has nothing to do with me being a liberal. It has to do with the fact of me just wanting to be a good human being and wishing the best upon everyone. So that's what I feel the bickering is all about. Beyond that, why would these people even care? What do they really care about? They care about, they primarily care about their freedom of speech, including hate speech and racism and all that. And what's the second thing that they care about? You know, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. They care about Amendment 1 and Amendment 2, right? And when Amendment 1 is being challenged, then they feel like we're going to go, defend our First Amendment by now using Amendment number 2 and packing guns and showing up to rallies, right? I think that's what happened, like in Arizona or one of the states. I think in Arizona they showed up with guns, which they're allowed to. But why go to a peaceful rally and feel the need to show up, packing something, even if you have the legal right to do so? What are you trying to say? That, hey, if something gets out of hand, I'm going to whip out my gun or what? Just don't like it when people think that way. I don't like it when people think with violence, and I don't like it when people think with hate. It just shouldn't be that way. That's just my opinion. I'm entitled to it. All right, folks, I'm going to step away and take a quick 5 to 7 or 8 minute break, and I'm going to come back and discuss the last few things here. But before I get to that, let me cue up some royalty-free YouTube music here. Give me just a second. What do I want to play? What do I want to play? All right. Let's see. Just need a couple more here. One more. All right. We're all set to go. All right, folks, I'm going to step away for a quick 5 to 7 or 8 minute break. When we return, the second part of the show is going to come up and be discussing how Joe Biden will put an end to systemic racism. And then we're also going to be talking about Joe Biden's new COVID-19 task force already in the making. So stick around. We'll be right back. sometimes you just have to get away from it all. Take a weekend off, enjoy your life. Like at a beautiful place like this is Lake Mendocino. Look at how beautiful that is. Isn't that beautiful? Get out there, you smell the fresh air. Forget about all the problems that our country's having right now, or our world is having, right? Oh yeah. Ding, 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 yeah! Clap your hands and feel good. Clap, 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 clap your hands and feel good with me. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whew. Get on out there and smell the fresh air. Take a nice walk, a nice hike, and just escape from all the craziness, right? That's what life is all about, right? Escaping from the craziness. Yeah. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube. And I just love YouTube. And YouTube is about to become an even greater place to be. I cannot wait to see the changes that come to YouTube at the beginning of 2021. I have been waiting for this for the last 4 years. I have been waiting for a big change that's going to make this world a better place, a more positive place, where we get rid of systemic racism, we get rid of racism in general, we get rid of all the hate, we get rid of all the negativity, and make this one big, happy, joyous place to live in. Not only just here in the US where I live, but globally. I'm all about global peace. I'm not a selfish person, don't only think about my own country. I think about the entire world, or even the planet. Global peace. Right, Mutt? Mutt says, welcome back. Hey, Mutt, welcome back to you as well. All right. Tonight, we have been discussing, well, I've been saying, stop whining and complaining. There's a bright future ahead for everyone. One more time. Stop whining and complaining. There's a bright future ahead for everyone, and that includes everyone. That includes liberals, that includes conservatives, that includes independents, that includes libertarians, that includes the rattlesnakes on the hiking trail, the bears, that includes the mountain lions, that includes the snails, the ants, everybody. There's a bright future ahead for everyone, and I don't understand why people can't see that. We're going to get rid of division and create more unity. And I know many of you out there, especially many of you conservatives that, are Trump supporters, feel otherwise. But I'm telling you, this is going to benefit you folks as well. Give it a chance. All I ask you is to give it a chance. Listen, 4 years ago, when Trump beat out Hillary Clinton, like I mentioned in my previous stream, I wasn't really that happy about it, and many other liberals, Democrats, were not happy about it. But we conceded, and we said, you know what? It is what it is. Let's see what happens. Let's give him a chance. We gave him a chance. And boy, oh boy, 4 years later, I mean, look, I'm not sitting here saying anything that's not apparent. The world's a different place. If you don't think the world's a different place, regardless of who you are or what you believe in, then I don't know where you've been for the past 4 years. But now it's time to get things back on track, to bring things back to a level of normalcy. That's what I'm all about. And again, I'm not being selfish when I say this. I'm not saying I care about my liberals. So I'm only a slight left liberal. Even if I was a full-blown liberal, I still would care for the conservatives and everyone else. I care about everyone. I have everyone's best interest in my head and in my heart. And so does Joe Biden. And the funny thing is this. It's not even really a funny thing. Okay? All I've been hearing from a lot of the conservatives that have been following me, that have been attacking me out here on YouTube for the past 4 years, is that liberalism is a disease. They keep saying that. I keep getting comments like that, and I ban these people immediately, and I remove them. They say liberalism is a disease. When have you ever heard any liberal say that conservatism, or however you would put it, is a disease? I would never say that. I don't think it is. You're entitled to your political party preference. You're entitled to your views. Nothing wrong with that. I'm entitled to mine. We're going to have a difference of opinion. But why can't we discuss it maturely and meet in the middle and compromise and come up with the best possible overall solution that only helps, one side, but helps the other side, helps both sides, helps all sides? Why can't we do that? Because that's how a lot of liberals are. They're not just about themselves. They're about the overall aspect of everyone. They're about the entire country of America. So why can't the other side, in my case, the other side would be the conservatives, why can't we look at it the same way? Why does there have to be division? What is keeping all you conservatives from uniting with the rest of us and creating greatness that helps all of us? Is that too difficult of a question to ask, or is that too simple? Is it so simple that it just can never happen in your eyes? I don't know. I don't know what to say. All I know is that I feel confident about the next 4 years, and I honestly feel greatness is going to come for all Americans. And when greatness comes for all Americans, the rest of the world is going to benefit from that as well, because we are the strongest nation in the world here. We are the example nation that other nations look at. And we need to start setting that example the proper ways once again, like we have in the past. It's time to come back and set the proper example for everyone. All right, let's get to the next part of the show here. So right now we are at an hour and 9, almost an hour and 10 minutes into this. Okay, so let's talk about systemic racism here. And it's something, like I mentioned earlier, that YouTube's talked a lot about. Even the CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, has discussed it on many occasions in videos. And she's been very professional about it. And she really wishes that it didn't happen. It doesn't need to happen. And how I personally feel, and many others feel, that Joe Biden will put an end to systemic racism. Now, for those of you that aren't aware of what systemic racism is, let me read you the definition that is stated online. Institutional racism, also known as systemic racism, is a form of racism that is embedded as normal practice within society or an organization. It can lead to such issues as discrimination in criminal justice, employment, housing, healthcare, political power, and education, among other issues. One more time. Institutional racism, also known as systemic racism, is a form of racism that is embedded as normal practice within society or an organization. So meaning that, it's something that apparently has become the norm for many people as a way of living life. To me, it breaks my frickin' heart that people are that way, because that's not what it means to be a true American. It can lead to such issues such as discrimination in criminal justice, employment, housing, healthcare, political power, and education, among other issues. Like I mentioned in some previous streams recently, why do I feel the problem of systemic racism has become far greater in recent times. Well, obviously, especially to you conservatives out there, you know exactly what I'm going to say. But I think to the liberals out there, to everyone out there, I think you know exactly what I'm going to say. It all comes down from the commander-in-chief, which still happens to be Donald J. Trump until the end of the year. Okay? When you have a president that is constantly going out there and saying that social media sites are trying to silence conservative speech, he's not taking into consideration how the liberals feel. He's not running the country or managing the country as the president with everyone's best interest in his head and his heart. He's basically putting out his message to a group of people, primarily conservatives, that completely are brainwashed into believing everything that he says and comes out of his mouth. The president has incited violence, has incited hate, is saying that freedom of speech should include everything, including hate, vulgar language, racism, and all that. And when you have the commander-in-chief going out there and fighting for that, how do you think the people that support him are going to follow? And when you have half the people in the country supporting every word that comes out of his mouth, no matter what he says, because he's brainwashed him into believing everything he says, how do you think our country is going to, deal with that? What's going to happen? I'm living proof of what happened. Like I keep mentioning, for example, purposes. I'm not bitter. I'm not trying to go back to what happened to me. I'm over it. I've moved forward, and I am moving forward. But as an example, the last 4 years, I've been attacked on a previous channel I used to run and this one by a group of middle-aged conservative Caucasian men that believe in exactly what Donald Trump is saying regarding this. And they attacked me in every single way, and they did everything they could to destroy my name, my image, and my brand, because they felt they had the right to spew hate on me for no reason, just because they feel they have the right to do that whenever they want to do that to whoever they want to do that. It took a huge toll on me. All I wanted to do is come on out here and be a good guy and run my business and be professional and proper. But because these people had an alternate agenda, because they felt they were empowered to do so, that's what they did. And it saddens me. It saddens me because once again on this stream tonight, I will say to those conservatives out there that feel your freedom of speech is being silenced on social media, or you're going to completely lose your freedom of speech because Trump is not going to be in office anymore at the end of the year, what's the real problem? Do you just want to be allowed to be a hateful person? If you wish to be a hateful and spiteful person that spews out hate and negativity all the time, does that make you feel good about yourself? And what's the real issue? Is the real issue that you want to be hateful to others, or is the real issue that you don't love yourself and you're unhappy with yourself or where you're at in life? And rather than doing things to better yourself, to become better, instead of doing that, you attack others that are already where you want to be, so that way it makes you feel better. It gives you a false sense of feeling good. Right? Is that what it is? So the bottom line is this. I can tell you folks from what I've seen, what I'm hearing, what I feel in my head and my heart, that early on in 2021 and throughout the beginning of 2021 and ongoing, you're going to see a huge shift regarding systemic racism. Joe Biden will not stand for it. Kamala Harris will not stand for it. And to the rest of you out there that are going to continue whining and complaining that you're being silenced regarding your freedom of speech, ask yourself, what kind of person do you want to be? Do you enjoy living a negative life, or do you want to be a positive person that's happy within yourself so you can, radiate and give out positive thoughts instead of negative thoughts all the time? Ask yourself that. Seriously. And another thing before I wrap up this topic and go to the last one. Okay. So a lot of these content creators out here on YouTube, I've heard because of the fact that Trump did not get reelected, they have already started to look at alternate platforms. It's known as alt tech, ALT-TECH, alt tech. So they're looking for other video hosting platforms like DLive or BitChute or some other ones, because they know if they continue doing what they've done out here for the past 4 years that Trump's been in office, they're going to get removed much more quickly, right? Okay. See, what you guys and gals that are thinking that don't understand one thing, these other alt tech sites have similar rules in place. Now, you might be able to, get away with it longer out there than YouTube, but eventually, don't you think if you continue spewing out the same hate, racism, inappropriate stuff, do you not think that those sites are not going to have tools where people can flag your videos and take you down? And even then, let me ask you folks that are looking at alternate platforms because you feel YouTube's going to remove you, right? Okay. What better platform is there than YouTube to offer you everything you need to run your business, right? And get your word out. What other platform is going to offer something even remotely as close as to what YouTube and Google offer? You guys and gals out there that have a problem with this are blaming YouTube and Google for silencing you. Yet you're not looking deep within yourselves and asking yourselves, what are you doing to get removed? What are you doing to get removed? Let me check the chat here real quick. Okay, nothing going on in the chat. So yeah, what are you doing to get yourselves removed? Whenever you sign up for one of these platforms, they have a terms of service, they have community guidelines, they have copyright guidelines. If you read all of those, you're going to know what you can and can't do. And YouTube even says it themselves. YouTube says, we're not going to tell you what to create. But especially if you're in the YouTube partner program and you want to monetize content, we have a duty to our advertisers to make them aware of the type of content they're sponsoring. It's not even YouTube trying to silence you. It's the advertisers that want to put their ads on certain types of videos and refrain from other types of videos. So you all know that. If you all know that and you want to run a successful business and make ad revenue and get super chats and have a platform like YouTube that has the best audio and video and monetization platform you'll ever see, then why can't you conform to that? How hard would it be for you to conform to that? Yet your solution is, well, we're not welcome here, so we're going to run off to alt tech. Okay, go for it. But let me tell you this. The more of you that leave YouTube and go to alt tech, the more ad revenue will be left for me. I said this in the past, I'll say it again. About 2.5 years ago, I think it was 2.5 years ago, when YouTube changed their monetization policy from only needing 10,000 views to qualify for monetization to now needing 4,000 public watch hours in the previous 12 months and 1,000 subscribers. It bugged me because I wasn't quite there yet. I was monetized, then I lost my monetization and never got it back on my former channel that I ended up shutting down. But then when I came back, 3 months after I shut down my former channel a couple of years ago, I restarted this one. I said, you know what? I'm going to build over again. I'm going to rebuild it. And I'm going to get monetized. And this next time when I get monetized, there's going to be more ad revenue available for good channels like me. There are going to be far fewer channels in the YouTube Partner Program that were abusing the system and making money, stealing other people's content and doing other shady things. And guess what? There has been a lot more ad revenue. I've seen the ad rates tremendously skyrocket already. Now, if there's going to be another shift where all of these conservative content creators say, okay, we don't have the protection of Trump anymore to say whatever the hell we want to say, right? Including hate speech and all that stuff, right? We're going to look at alt tech. So we're going to leave YouTube, or YouTube will get rid of us, but we'll probably leave before they get rid of us. That's great. Okay, if that's what you want to do, then I'm going to thank you in advance for putting in more ad revenue to good channels like mine. But again, you can change that. If you dig deep, you can change that and continue creating the same content you've always created, but by removing the unnecessary hate and attacking and racism and all that stuff that you've added into your content, because you know that it makes your content more controversial and dramatic and gets all eyes on you for that fact alone. So on top of that, you have to ask yourselves, at that point, are people really watching your content based on, the stories you're sharing, or are they watching your content because now you're a drama channel pushing the boundaries and you're doing crazy things that people are watching just because they're crazy, not because of your actual content? Anyway, that's just my thought regarding that. All right. So let's go to the final part of the show here. We're at 1 hour and 23 minutes. We're going to talk about Biden's COVID-19 task force, and I'm going to switch on over to the browser screen here. I have an article up, which is from USA Today, written by Kim Hemmelgaard. It's spelled Hjelmgaard. I think it's Hemmelgaard. I think the J is silent. Forgive me if I got it wrong. Kim Hemmelgaard from USA Today published 7:29 a.m. Eastern, which was 4:29 a.m. Eastern earlier today, November 9th, 2020. And the title is President-elect Biden unveils COVID-19 task force. It includes a Trump whistleblower. Wow, President-elect Biden unveils COVID-19 task force. It includes a Trump whistleblower. And there's a video there. You can go check out the article if you want. Joe Biden calls for unity in first address as president-elect. In first address since securing the presidency, Joe Biden called for unity between all Americans, not just liberals, all Americans. Man. Oh, boy, geez. All right. Let me make sure this is all in alignment there. All right. President-elect Joe Biden unveiled Monday members of his COVID-19 advisory board, and it includes Rick Bright, a former Trump administration whistleblower who resigned amid allegations his early warnings over the pandemic were ignored. No, he got tired of putting up with the BS. That's the bottom line. He got tired of putting up with the BS and having to be and being forced to agree with everything that Trump says or he's out, right? Now, why do you have an administration if they can't have their own opinion to help you as the president make a better decision as the final decision? Why do you have people working for you, Donald, if their opinions don't matter? Why? I can't blame Rick one bit at all. At all. The task force, a group of public health experts, almost all doctors, wow, will offer guidance to Biden, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, and their coronavirus staff as they prepare to take over the presidency. Beautiful. Sounds great. Sounds great. We still have about a little over a month and a half before they are officially in office. And they're already getting to work to make our country a better place. Wow. It's just incredible. The board's composition could be an indicator of the Biden administration's intent to follow a more science-based coronavirus approach. That's the way we've always done things in the past. We've always done things science-based. For the first time in our country's history, we have gone off, well, some of us have, not all of us, but at least I guess some of the conservatives that will do anything and everything that Trump says have gone off his word. Oh, it's no big deal, Trump says, right? We're going to come out and do rallies still, and you don't have to wear a mask, and you don't have to socially distance. This is not as serious as you think it is. Oh, I had COVID, said Trump, and 3 days later I'm out of the hospital and I'm cured, miraculously. Something like that. I think that's how it went, if I remember it properly. There's so much going on, right? Oh, it's just like another disease. It's just like having the common cold. Well, for some people, it may be that way for them. The coronavirus, we don't know for 100%, but it affects everyone differently. For some people, it's not going to affect them as much based on their immune system. For others, it's going to affect them tremendously. And it has to do with age and other things. Maybe you have other pre-existing conditions that make it worse. How can you go out as the president and make a blanket statement that it's okay? It's not a big deal. Let's come out and continue with the rallying. Let's not wear masks. Let's not socially distance, right? So I really like the fact that the Biden administration is already getting to work a month and a half before they're even in office. And they're going to take a more science-based approach regarding the coronavirus. Perfect. Nothing more to add to that. Dealing with the coronavirus pandemic is one of the most important battles our administration will face, and I will be informed by science and by experts, Biden said in a statement on his transition website. Good. Excellent, Biden. Biden, you're not even in office yet, and you're already you're working overtime for our country for free. He's not even getting paid yet to do the job, and he's already doing the job. How can you not respect that? How can you not respect that? I'll work for free. I have to start early, unpaid, because it's that bad, and we need to get down to business before it gets any worse, because so many hundreds of thousands of new infections hit us in the past week alone, during the election week. The advisory board will help shape my approach to managing the surge in reported infections, ensuring vaccines are safe, effective, and distributed efficiently, equitably, and free, and protecting at-risk populations. Beautiful. Couldn't say any better myself. I don't have any more to add to that. Joe, I'm going to have a hard time critiquing or criticizing your statements because you're very clear. Like, I'm the kind of guy that always feels to clear up unclear messages from other people. But Joe, you're so clear, I can't even criticize you. Well, thank you for making my life a little bit easier already, Joe. Thank you. All right, let's continue. All right, let me check out the chat here real quick. Chat's really, really quiet. It's all right. They're just enjoying the show. No big deal. All right. Biden's approach to tackling COVID-19, it will be dramatically different. Bright was demoted from his role as director of the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority after criticizing the Trump administration's pandemic response. Yeah, you disagreed with Trump. You gave Trump a different opinion outside of his own narrative. And so that pretty much got you ousted. Well, you were going to get ousted. Well, you got ousted. Sorry. because it was a difference of opinion. You didn't suit his narrative. You weren't there to give opinions to help the president make a better decision. You were there to be a guinea pig, to automatically agree with everything that's going on in the president's head. So why even have an administration if it's going to be that way, right? He resigned. Yeah, he did. So he resigned and then filed a lengthy whistleblower complaint claiming he tried to raise internal concerns about the administration's handling of the outbreak, including President Donald Trump's championing, I can't even talk, I can't even say the word, championing, being a champion, right, of hydrochloroquine, whatever that is, a malaria drug, as a COVID-19 treatment, despite the fact that its efficacy had not been determined. Okay. Yeah, you got to test things out. You got to try things out for a while. We have a lot of testing, regulations in the U.S., the FDA and all that. You got to go through all that. I mean, does Trump think he can bypass all that? Does Trump think that he has the authority and power? And even if he did, would it be the right thing to bypass all the federal agencies that protect us? And that makes sure things are safe before they're put out there at a large scale? Man. Wow. Rick Bright, he says he was ousted after raising concern about coronavirus drug. Okay. Now, there's some other stories here that you can check out if you go to USA Today. The vaccine candidate shown to be 90% effective. Biden's approach to COVID-19 expected to be drastically different. Okay, we got that. Do curfews help stop COVID spread? Probably not enough, experts say. And if you want to check that out, just go to usatoday.com and you'll find those articles there. The task force is Biden's first major transition announcement. It comes as Vice President Mike Pence will lead a separate White House coronavirus task force meeting Monday. Mike Pence is going to lead that, okay? Mike Pence, I got to say, when Trump came out and made his speech last week, and then, Trump asked Mike to say a few words, I looked at Mike and I was like, man, Mike has no idea what to say. He probably does not completely agree with Trump, but he's got to come up there and say a neutral statement that's going to satisfy not only the general public, but Trump himself. I got to say, I bet Mike Pence feels very, very awkward being in the position he's in as the vice president of the U.S. But it looks like he's going to try to do what he can do for the last, month and a half that he and Trump are in office. Coronavirus has claimed the lives of more than 230,000 Americans, and the Trump administration has not unveiled any kind of national lockdown or test and trace strategy, leaving it up to individual states to figure out how to keep the virus at bay. Yeah, he's not supporting anyone but his own agenda. That's it. He's not supporting anyone besides his own agenda. He has his own thoughts. His own thoughts outside of regulations, outside of science, etc. And if you don't go with his narrative, then you're a bad person. And you're in trouble. And he's going to scold you, right? God, never seen any other person. Never seen any other president like him, but never seen any other business person or human being behave as erratically as Trump has behaved. Wow. Biden's 13-member task force is chaired by Vivek Murthy, a former Surgeon General, David Kessler, a former Food and Drug Administration Commissioner, and Marcella Nunes-Smith, a professor at Yale University. Among the other members are Luciana Borio, a physician and public health expert and previously director for medical and biodefense preparedness on Trump's National Security Council. That's a great team you're building up there, Joe. Wow, Joe, again, you're a month and a half away from, being in office and getting paid for the job. So, Joe, you're working overtime for free, brother. Joe, I got to give you a big round of applause. Joe, I got to give you a big round of applause. I mean, Joe, you're working OT, man. I'll tell you, Joe, if I was in your shoes, I'd be doing the same thing. I would be working for free until I got in office. I could not wait till the beginning of the year to put the last 4 years behind us and move forward to greatness and solving all the issues. Wow. Beautiful. Couldn't have said that any better myself. Hopes for an effective coronavirus vaccine were raised Monday after a vaccine developed by Pfizer and partner BioNTech proved better than expected at protecting people from the virus in the study. The companies claim that the vaccine proved to be more than 90% effective in the first 94 subjects who were infected by the new coronavirus and developed at least one symptom. The results are not complete. Okay, that's good. Got to get it better. We got to get it close to 100, if not 100. But they're working on it, and they're testing. And they're doing testing, they're doing trials and errors, they're doing it the way they've always done it. That's why it has not been released yet. So yeah, I can't add more to that. That's the right thing to do. And once again, like I mentioned on my stream early Saturday morning, late Friday night, early Saturday morning, before I went away for the weekend, Mark Meadows added to the list of White House officials who have tested positive because you went around doing exactly what your president said, to not wear a mask and to not socially distance. And what happened? You got infected. Now the question is, how many more people are infected that don't even know it, or are infected and not showing any signs of the virus yet? Wow. Biden, in a statement, congratulated the brilliant women and men who helped produce this breakthrough and to give us such cause for hope. But he cautioned it is important to understand that the end of the battle against COVID-19 is still months away. I agree. I don't see us getting back to normal until the end of 2021. I have a feeling what's going to happen, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, not a fact, it's an opinion, that once we start getting a vaccine out there, even if the vaccine is perfect, right? You got to vaccinate everyone, right? And you're not going to be able to vaccinate everyone right away. It's going to take many months, maybe leading into the summer, right? And then by the end of 2021, you can say, all right, we are vaccinated. We've got the perfect vaccine. We're good. The world has had enough time to put it out there. We are no longer at risk from this virus. Let's open up the floodgates. We don't have to socially distance anymore. We don't have to wear masks anymore. Blah, blah, blah. So that's my guess on what's probably going to happen if this all pans out, which it kind of looks like it is, but we have to wait and see. Just like we had to wait and see several days after Election Day who the president was going to be, because we had to count all the friggin' votes, right? Now we got to make sure that these tests are working with these vaccines and that they're effective. And once we know they're effective, then we got to get everyone vaccinated, right? It's going to take time, money, resources, all of that, right? One step at a time, right? Joe Biden's not trying to close the country. He's trying to prevent the country from dying off completely. There's a big difference there. Trump's trying to get you conservatives to believe that Joe Biden's going to close the country, right? No, he's not going to close the country. He's going to protect it as best as possible while allowing things to go on so we can live our lives. I'll tell you folks, over the weekend, last couple of weekends, I went out of town and I was able to go to my favorite restaurants I've gone to in those same towns I visited before because they reopened. Now, they are socially distancing. They're not, having people sit too close to each other, but they're letting you dine in. And you walk in with a mask. When you get to your table, you take the mask off because you can't eat with a mask on, right? But all their employees are wearing masks and they're allowing you to dine in. And I will tell you, to me, this really hasn't affected me one bit. I've still been doing exactly the same things that I've been doing. I've gone hiking and I've gone to restaurants and I've done the same things that I've always done. I wear a mask where I know I need to wear a mask. And when I don't need to wear a mask, I don't wear one. Like, I'll be honest, I see people wearing masks on the hiking trails. I don't wear a mask on the hiking trail because I can't enjoy the air and all that, right? But there's so much distance between people on the hiking trail. To me, I don't feel it's that great of a risk. Now, some people think differently, and that's your choice. But really, the only place where I don't wear a mask where some people are wearing masks is on the hiking trail. But everywhere else that I go, I wear a mask. Go to the store, you wear a mask. They won't let you in if you don't wear a mask. But I would wear one regardless. Because that's going to protect me, right? I use common sense, right? But if Trump's going to go out there and say that, Biden's going to close the country down and the country's going to fall into shambles and our economy's going to self-destruct, right? He's going to say that because he's going to say, if you don't vote for me, there will be no country left, right? Right? That's what his game was, right? Well, Donnie, unfortunately, brother, or fortunately for us, it didn't work. That's all I got to say. Anyway. All right, let's see here. What else do we have? The president-elect said the announcement was part of a previously announced timeline by industry officials and that it does not alter the fact that Americans will have to rely on masking, distancing, contact tracing, hand washing, and other measures to keep themselves safe well into next year. I just said the same thing in different words. I still go out and do the same things, but when I need to wear a mask, I wear a mask. At the dinner table, you can't wear a mask. How are you going to eat with a mask on? But everywhere else, to and from the table or the restroom or, entering the restaurant and exiting it, you wear the mask, right? You go to the gas station and you go to the convenience store, you wear a mask, right? It's not that big of a deal. It's not that difficult to do. Couldn't say that better myself. In a tweet, Trump said, "Stock market up big, vaccine coming soon, report 90% effective, such great news." Oh, man. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Defense have agreed to help fund the large-scale production and delivery of any Pfizer vaccine, but not its development. Other drug companies that are part of Operation Warp Speed, the Trump administration's public-private coronavirus vaccine initiative, have taken federal funds for research and development as well as the fulfillment of the vaccine. Well, to me, when you say Operation Warp Speed, that means this thing would have been released already and would have been 100% effective. I think the phrase Operation Warp Speed was something that Trump put out there to just get attention and to try to get reelected. I mean, when you're dealing with something as serious as this and you're trying to create a vaccine for something that's never existed before, you're trying to create something that's going to fight something that's never existed before. You cannot do that at warp speed. You can't. You can try to do it as fast as possible, but warp speed, that's misleading people, in my opinion. That's like one of those tweets that Trump puts out there saying that, voting by mail is fraudulent, right? And then they label his tweet as misleading, which it is. Oh boy. So other drug companies that are part of Operation Warp Speed, the Trump administration's public-private coronavirus vaccine initiative, have taken federal funds for research and development as well as the fulfillment of the vaccine. Okay. And I think that's it. That's the end of the the article. You want to check it out, folks? Just go to USA Today. The article is titled President-elect Biden unveils COVID-19 task force. It includes a Trump whistleblower, written earlier today. If you go to usatoday.com, you'll probably see it somewhere out there on the homepage. All right, let's go back to full screen and start wrapping things up here. Let's see. I think Mutt just mentioned something. I am here just dealing with something personal, but listening. No problem, Mutt. I know you've got a lot going on. Again, if you ever want to talk about anything, just let me know. I'll always be available for you free of charge as well. You know, my moderators, I will always help free of charge because you're doing God's work and moderating the channel. Especially in the past when I had it wide open and we had a bunch of trolls, but you know, you're still doing God's work, so I appreciate it. So anyway, with that being said, folks, I've been on for an hour and 47 minutes, probably one of the longer streams I've done in a while. I'm just going to say this, folks. I've said everything I've had to say about the election. And, you know, now Biden's been elected in the office. I want to get back to my regular programming. I really want to get back to truly helping people get a better grip on their lives. That's what I'm here to provide. Okay? And there's a lot of work ahead to be done to get things back on track for our country, which I feel has made it more challenging for me to do what I do because a lot of people are not in the right mindset to be able to accept the help. Okay? I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to move forward. I have not given up on myself or anyone else because I know there are people out there that need the help I offer. The reason why I know that is because if I had the help of somebody teaching me what I know now 20, 25 years ago when I was younger, I would have been in a much better position than I'm in right now. And that's the position I want to put each and every one of you in much sooner than I got to. So with that being said, we're going to wrap things up. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to Mutt Nuts World who was here. Thank you to Lord Gaelic who was here earlier today. It was great to catch up with you as well. And again, thank you to everyone who was watching behind the scenes. I'll be back tomorrow for another either live stream or a video. Until then, have yourselves a great, great night, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.